So came out to the Palm Springs property today, and it's a little bit of a boogie. It's about an hour and 40 minutes from my house. Not like super stoked on the drive, but it is what it is. You know, you got to go where the money's at. So came out here today. I'm going to be meeting with the painter and the flooring guy, and hopefully a contractor who can give me some bids on some drywall and stuff. I'm also going to be taking some measurements in the bathrooms so I can get an idea of some of the like the vanities and the mirrors and stuff that we're going to be putting in here. I want to get an idea of, you know, what's going to fit and what's not going to fit. So I'm out here doing that. Really thinking excited about getting a quote on the paint. The property is like all green and purple. It's really, you know, kind of funky, and I know that just the paint by itself is going to create a bunch of added value. So I'm excited about that. Also kind of cool on the way out here, I drove by a couple, I drove by a rock supply place. It's like something supply, and that was kind of cool because we need to do a lot of rock work in the backyard, in the front yard. So for sure we can use that that supply company as a resource. So that was kind of cool. And then as I was going to the Starbucks, it was nice because I kind of drove around the city a little bit just to get an idea of like what's nearby and you know, just get a feel of like the layout of the land. And one of the things that I noticed, there was a 55 and older community that was on the way to the Starbucks. It's kind of been an area of concern for me a little bit because I saw a couple properties in there that were for sale. They were for sale below the ARV number that I need to hit. Not by much, but I was concerned. I'm like, man, these properties are, you know, kind of right where I need to be, and it doesn't leave a lot of room for error. And so when I was driving by it, the two things I noticed. The first thing is that those properties are actually in a different city. My property is in Palm Springs, and those properties are in Cathedral City. And so just having a Palm Springs address is, you know, it creates value, and there's value in that that address or that city. But also I noticed these properties, they've got no backyards. I noticed that in the pictures when I was looking at the comps, but when I drove by, I noticed, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no yards at all in these properties. And for sure that is impacting the value. I've got a pool, a huge yard, and we're gonna put a bocce court in there and all kinds of stuff. So it was kind of cool to be able to see that. It's only something, in my opinion, that you can see, that you can really gauge by actually seeing it, you know? So this is the thing that I love about what I'm doing, is being able to like be in it, you know, go and like touch it, feel it, see it. Whereas, you know, in the wholesaling space, especially doing it virtually out of state, I can't see the properties, and it can be kind of boring sometimes. But anyways, I'm really enjoying how this is going, and I just want to give you kind of an update on what's going down today. Okay, so the painter just came through. I did a quick walkthrough, took him through the outside, let him know that what we want to do, and I'm really staying excited about it. Didn't really seem to have a lot of concerns. I thought there was gonna be like way more questions, but there wasn't. And I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing, but we'll find out what that bid comes back. They're basically gonna paint the entire exterior of this property, the house, the eaves, the overhang thing, whatever the heck that's called, the fascia, I mean. They're gonna paint the entire exterior wall. And what we're gonna do is, we are going to, and of course we're gonna paint the interior, but what we're gonna do is we're basically going to model some of the other properties that have sold recently in this area for top dollar. So what I did was, I went and I looked at all the comps, and I said, which comps are selling and how much are they selling for, and what does the design look like? And then I'm basically gonna model that exact same design in this property, because I don't wanna reinvent the wheel. I wanna get into this and say, what's selling, do that, let's go. And then the other thing I did was, I met with the painter. He gave me kind of a quick rundown, didn't really say very much. He's gonna email me the quote. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I will show you what that number looks like. Then I met with the real estate agent, and I said, hey, you know, I saw some of these other properties. This is what they sold for. Can you give me some feedback? You're familiar with this area. Why do you think this property sold for this much? Why do you think this property is sitting on the market? What are you seeing from your buyers in terms of flooring? Is tile better than laminates? Is dark better than light? What are you seeing? What should I do in here? And I just was quiet. I just wanted to hear what she had to say, and she gave me a ton of good feedback. And she also gave me a ton of good references for other contractors who can help me, can give me some bids on some of the things that I'm trying to do. So I'm expecting those, and then I'm gonna need several bids for everything. I'm only using a contractor for the kitchen and some of kind of the more difficult stuff that I'll screw up. You know, I just don't know how to do it. But that's kind of the plan. I'm gonna get several bids for some other things like these walls, right? I want these walls behind me to come out, and what that's gonna do is it's it's gonna open up this entire area into the kitchen, and it's gonna create more value because it's gonna be wide open. So I do have some concerns. These are load bearing, so I am concerned about what that does to me in terms of timing, and also permits, and what that exposes me to in terms of potential second order consequences, costs, and those types of things. So I can share all that with you, but that was kind of what just happened, what went down. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into some of these rooms and I'm gonna take some measurements. So a couple things I wanna measure is I wanna measure this door, this opening, okay? I got a guy who does doors. It was a reference from, not a reference, a referral from the agent, somebody who can replace this door for me. And I wanna do a slider. Now the thing is, this opening right here is set up for this door with these little wings. This is called something. They told me, I can't remember what it's called. But I wanna put a slider in here, right? So the master bedroom has a big slider right out into the backyard. And I wanna get an idea of what it's gonna cost to do that. So I'm gonna measure it. So I have the number. Now, the door guy and the door window guy, whatever that is, the door window guy is gonna come out and he's gonna give me a bid on this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure this as well, and I'm gonna find out what a slider would cost from some other people at that size to install in this property, because I wanna know his bid versus what maybe somebody else might bid out. But more than that, I wanna learn. I wanna know, like, hey, this is what it costs to do something like this, because the next property I go into, I wanna look at it and say, if we have to put a slider in, this is what it's gonna cost, and I wanna know that number off of the top of my head. The other thing we're gonna do is we are going to open up this archway. So we're gonna open it up, make it square, and then we're gonna put a barn door. So we're gonna close this bathroom off so that you can have some privacy when you're in there. The other thing I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take measurements of this sink and this opening, okay? So I wanna know what those measurements are, because when I went to the contractor's hardware store, I saw a bunch of countertops, vanities or whatever, but I didn't know what the size was. So I couldn't get an idea of, like, what's this gonna cost? Now, it's pretty negligible. You're talking about maybe a couple $100, you know, from the biggest to the smallest. It's not very much. I mean, but I wanna know the numbers. The point is, I wanna be really good at it, and I wanna know what does it cost. I wanna be able to walk into a property and say, okay, this is 48 inches. I can put a vanity in here, and this is how much it's gonna cost me. The same with the mirror on the back, right? So the mirror is small, this is ugly. We're gonna do this all white. We're gonna put a big mirror in there. We're gonna do a black lighting. We're gonna push this wall back to open this up and give this entire bathroom some a more open feel. And then this is the big thing, is this entire shower needs to come out, right? So you'll notice it's a bathtub, right? So Palm Springs, even if it wasn't Palm Springs, it's a master bath. So, you know, people want to walk into a shower, okay? They don't want to step into it. But in Palm Springs, a lot of people come out here to retire. The buyer could potentially be older. They definitely don't want to be stepping in and out of a tub. But regardless, in a master bathroom, nobody wants to be stepping in and out of a tub unless it's independent from the actual shower door. So this is gonna be redone. This is gonna be pretty expensive, but the juice is gonna be worth the squeeze. I'm really excited to see the way this turns out. Barn door is gonna look stinking awesome. This is gonna be wide open. Absolutely love this. I'm so stinking excited about it. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna take these measurements and just so I have them, because I wanna know what they are. Now, when we come out into the hall here, you'll notice that we've got this opening here, okay? And there's a door that goes into the bedrooms. And so my thoughts are, if I knock this down, it will open, it'll make the hallway seem wider. The cabinets right behind it, okay? These are gonna come out too, okay? I don't want these cabinets, because first thing, they're really cheap and they look like garbage, but when they come out, it's gonna open this up. And if somebody wants to put something here later, they can do that. Remember, when someone buys the house, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna come in and say, we like it, we love it maybe, but we probably wanna do this. Like, everyone's gonna have an idea of what they wanna do. We wanna leave the ability for them to do that. We don't wanna spend the money on something that is not gonna add the value. And so all I'm really looking to do in this scenario is open this up and then remove this and then just paint this all white, okay? And that's what we're gonna do. So not a lot to do there. The secondary guest bathroom, we're gonna replace the countertop, put a big nice mirror up here, put a black light fixture, and then we're gonna retile all this, all white. It's gonna be all retiled white, and we're gonna put a new shower door in there. So really, it's gonna be clear and it's gonna look good. We're really excited about doing that. But what I wanna do is I wanna measure this vanity because I don't know how big this is, just like in the other bathroom. So when I go to Contractors Hardware, because I'm gonna buy those things to save some money and maybe even potentially install them to try to cut my costs, because every dollar I save is a dollar that I'm going to make on the back end. So I wanna know what those numbers are so I can go in and I can say, boom, that's the one, buy it, let's go, okay? Now, we're gonna replace all the fans in all of these rooms, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna use very similar fans to some local comps that have sold. So I'm like, okay, that's the fan. I'm gonna go buy that fan because that's what people wanna buy. I'm gonna measure all of these, cabinets, these closet doors, because all of these doors are gonna be replaced. Now I know, because I have kids and they like to break everything, that closet doors are about 500 bucks, okay? They can be a little bit more depending, but what I did was I budgeted $2,000 for these doors. So in the budget I have $2,000. So if I come in below $1,000 per closet door, I'm winning, okay? So I went high in order to make sure that I had margin, maybe for other things, maybe things that I didn't see or think of, okay? So that's kind of the GP today. Gonna walk around, take some measurements. I'm also gonna measure the kitchen because I want to know, like, I got some numbers on the kitchen, but I want to know the dimensions so I can double check the numbers. Not that I'm doing that, but I want to know these numbers. I'm also going to measure this window because this is something I didn't think about until today when I was here. This window is super funky. Like, this has got to come out in like a regular window for the side yard. It pops out, it looks really stinking old. It's going to ruin the kitchen. That needs to be replaced. So I'm going to measure that window so I know what it looks like. So I know I'm talking fast, I'm super jacked up on coffee. I had my Starbucks, but that's what I'm doing today. So I hope you guys enjoyed kind of the quick tour. I'm gonna show you some more stuff. I'm gonna go look at some other properties as well. I'm gonna drive some other properties that are currently on market. I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna get very familiar with these other properties, because when this thing goes on the market, I want it gone fast. I wanna be able to say, we have this, we have that, we have this. We checked all the boxes, stroke a check, let's go.